You were here in December, and I know you spoke, I think, to 20 some members of parliament, and Bridgen was there, and Malone was there. And are you seeing much more of a possibility of it being embraced by the British government compared to the US government?
I'm I, I'm seeing progress in the British Parliament,
Okay.
right? That Bridgen is getting his hearings. I'm not seeing that in the United States of America.
Okay.
So we have great hopes that Andrew Bridgen will continue to fight for this in the UK, and the truth will be exposed. And I'm hoping that there's going to be another honest health authority other than Joe Ladapo in Florida that will speak out against these vaccines, because Joe's been the only one to speak out on the vaccines.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Times here did a really pathetic hit piece on Andrew recently with his ex-wife, and I read it and I was just like, wow. It was just really thin, and it was almost so obvious kind of what they were doing there. And for me, now that I've seen maybe The Matrix, like you say, I could just see kind of what they're doing or what someone is doing by trying to discredit him, just the same way they did with Bobby as well. You know, if I hadn't had my conversation with Bobby in May 20, and you could even argue, Steve, maybe if certain events hadn't happened to you, we might not have seen the light, and we could still be on the other camp. And Bobby really opened my eyes, because I went into that interview with my MIT background thinking, well, vaccines are science that works, and I'm going to trust the science. And Bobby broke it all down for me. At the time, of course, he was well known because of the Kennedy family, but not many people knew about him. But I found him extremely articulate and extremely intelligent. And then I got to watch the next 2.5 years of him just being vilified in the mainstream media, all the while knowing none of that was true. And then it's been great to see him run for president, because I think now more people can tell that's not true. Although, if you tune into the mainstream media, and he did a podcast recently with Jocko Willink, who's been on our show, and Bobby said the baby boomers are the ones now that don't like him because they get their information from mainstream media. And so, I think it's important, and maybe you were implying this, Steve, is that to have some empathy for people that don't see it, because maybe we could have been them, and it's an emotionally charged issue. And it's either you have the info or you don't have the info. And a lot of times it depends on where you get your information from.
Yeah. Yeah. I talk to people about my views, and essentially when I talk about my views, they think that I didn't quite understand why people weren't listening to me, because I'm basically just saying, hey, look, here's what the data shows. And you know what? You can find the same thing if you looked. You can do your own surveys. You can pay to have your own surveys done. I paid to have a survey done recently, asking 1,000 Americans, a broad cross-section of America, hey, has anyone in your family died since the vaccines rolled out? And do you think that the vaccine might have caused it? And the survey was such that of the people who responded and had a death in their family, close to half, it wasn't quite 50%, but close to half said it was caused by the vaccine. I mean, that is an extraordinary result. Now, anyone can replicate that. Anyone can do what I did and hire an outside independent survey company to survey people in America. And you will find that there has been more death caused by the vaccines that people attribute to the vaccines than has been caused by COVID. And so either America is now filled with anti-vaxxers, or people are telling the truth in these surveys, and the vaccine is causing far more death and destruction than the virus has ever caused. And in fact, most of the deaths of COVID were caused by the hospital protocols that people got when they entered the hospital. It's not because people died at home. Most people were dying in the hospitals, And it was the hospital protocols that people were given in the United States, put them on remdesivir, and if they don't respond, then put them on a ventilator until you save their life. And the hospital would get a bonus if the people died on the bill, if the people followed the protocol. If the hospital followed the protocol, they get this bonus on the bill at the end. So the hospital really doesn't care whether you live or die. The hospital isn't being bonused if people live. The hospital is just being bonused for following the CDC instructions. And that ultimately led to the death of lots of people. And this Paul Merrick anecdote where Paul was saving 98% of the people on his protocol versus losing 100% on the hospital protocol. That's where, that shows you how powerful these hospitalization protocols were in killing people. So COVID deaths were really caused by an inept medical community. And I would love to debate anybody on the statistics on that one, because it's very clear. And this Paul Merrick anecdote makes it clear to everybody. But I'm digressing from your question, which was more about people believing this stuff. And like I said, people can do their own research, and people can move from a trust the authorities to do, maybe not, maybe it's trust. We want people to shift from trust the authorities to trust but verify. Right? They used to say that as in treaties. Right? We trust but verify. And if more people started verifying what they're told, people's eyes will be open as to just how badly they've been misled.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.
Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long. And the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you. Most people will never see this opportunity. Dubai luxury transformation projects have historically delivered 40 to 90% annual returns. That is incredible. These were once reserved only for insiders with access. I spent 15 years on Wall Street and I learned this: the biggest returns always go to the people who get the call first. Now, you finally can. We've just received a brand new project with major upside potential. Allocations move fast. Click the link, apply now, and speak to my team. This is your chance to see what others never will.